Also, speaking about that earth that it's talking about there, another thing is that earth that passed. The reason why I think it's the one that passed, that earthly earth, is Galatians chapter 4, I believe, verse 3 and verse 9. That'll tell you about the elements that passed away in fervent heat. And then, of course, if I'm right, the works that burned up would be, of course, the temple. That was the works that made up the heaven and earth. The works is also what would have been what you had to do in the fleshly law. It was a law of works. You were judged by what you did. You had to go through rituals. You had to keep certain days. There's all kinds of stuff you had to do. So it was a law of works. We also know this change came because this isn't a covenant of works. We're saved by grace through faith, not by works. Should any man boast? Works can't save us. Works can't produce faith, but faith produces works. We're still not judged by them. So we know the old past when it comes to the earth. We're not like that now from the law to this. So that's just another thing that came to my mind after that first recording was that, we do have scripture to back up what those elements were that melted. And of course, we know what melted to heaven and earth. We talked about there previously. So anyway, I just got to thinking because it didn't make much sense to me when it said to inherit the earth. But it didn't make much sense because if the apostles and the first century saints and if they were preaching that these are the last days and the new covenant had not even, you had two overlapping covenants. The new covenant, it was in the other, but not fully in. The marriage had not happened yet. The fullness of the Gentiles had not come yet. So they were preaching the end, that it could even be over at any time. And the last days of it, before it even started, basically. Before it even started. Before even the fullness of the Gentiles. That to me, that doesn't make sense. To preach something that it's about to end when it's either barely started or hasn't even started fully to begin with. The last days they were talking about and the end of whatever they were talking about couldn't have had nothing to do with the new covenant saints. The new covenant saints were just forming. They were just forming. So that earth that we're inheriting, already inherited, that can't be talking about, to me, in my opinion, it can't be talking about this earth passing away, when they talks about passing away or fleeing away from the face of Christ. Also, the Bible also tells us that in Revelations and in other places that this kingdom that we're in now is forever and ever. There is no end to this kingdom, to this heaven and earth. So that's the way I see it right now. There's a lot of things that there's questions still yet, but there's two heavens, there's two earths, and there's two Jerusalems. You've got the regular heaven, earth, and Jerusalem, and then you've got the new heaven, the new earth, and the new Jerusalem. The problem we have here is there's only mentioned of one last days and last day and hour. That has to go with one of those sets of heaven and earth and Jerusalems. That's where you got to put it. I mean, that's the way I see it. Those last days and last day and hour has to go with one of those sets of heaven and earth and Jerusalem. There only speaks of one, last days and last hour. So that's why I believe, and that's why I think, that the earth that the Meek inherited was the earth we're a part of right now. The old passed away and melted, and the new is now. So anyway, that's just another thought I had.